Hey guys, Super Rocker here, and welcome back to another Poppy Playtime Theory video. You probably heard about the new orientation notebook that Mob Entertainment dropped a few weeks back. Though ever since the book dropped, there's been a lingering question. Who is PW and why is he important? Throughout the book, he leaves various annotations and notes about the company's higher-ups, employees, and a number of incidents that occurred throughout the factory in the years before the Hour of Joy. He does this through various recommendations and reports, Catnaps mishandling being one of these reports. In this incident, we learn about how Catnap was contained to allow him a slight adjustment or recovery period to his new body following his procedure of becoming a bigger body toy. However, a security team failed to properly secure and lock Catnap's cell. The failure resulted in Catnap hunting down and killing 6 Playtime co-workers individually. Later in the report, PW reminds upper management that their employees are not just things, but rather friends and teammates too. Now, PW has to live with the guilt of his fallen teammates due to Playtime Co.'s negligence. However, the report is ultimately disregarded by upper management as seen by the big red stamp that says rejected. Another incident occurred when Wuggy escaped the factory through a ventilation shaft. This resulted in 5 retrieval team members losing their lives, along with another 6 members going missing. These incidents are why PW almost quit on August 3rd, before being convinced to stay by the death of Rowan Stowe, an IT worker turned whistleblower killed by Batibu after claiming that someone in the company tried to kill him. Along with the NDAs, PW was most likely scheduled to stay with the company, with the calendar ultimately going blank and the last note citing a new schedule that was supposed to come out on the 8th, along with the red splotches on some of the pages. It's likely PW died as a result of the Hour of Joy. In Chapter 3's green VHS tape, we're introduced to 2 new characters, Dr. White and Miss Brooks, but we want to focus on Dr. White. In this tape, he seems to be addressed more as a higher-up rather than a normal co-worker. Miss Brooks introduces Dr. White as somebody that the kids might not be familiar with.
Ah, and here they all are.
Well, of course. They'd never miss this.
Who's that, Mrs. Brooks? Who's going away?
Tell us. This week, Dr. White here has selected our very own Samuel Lee. Now, before he goes, let's all give Sam one last goodbye, shall we? With me. 1, 2, 3. Goodbye, Sam!
And in the orientation notebook, we see that PW has the initials P and W. This could mean the person writing these notes is Dr. White. It would make sense because we know that PW is a higher up, and we can also tell in the VHS tape that Dr. White is also a higher up. Furthermore, it would also make sense that both Dr. White and Dr. Sawyer worked together on various special projects involving the Bigger Bodies initiative. This is evidenced by PW's note about Dr. Sawyer being the head of special projects, as well as this progress report on Bobby BearHug. The progress report comes to an important conclusion, stating that work will need to be done to perfect the bigger body formula we began with Botsy. Each iteration improves on the former. However, if we're to meet the goals of Dr. Sawyer and produce bigger body subjects that we can integrate into a factory setting, then more work will need to be done. As it stands, Bobby will require further experimentation. If we're to create subject 1188 according to schematics, then each of these smiling critters will prove a good testing ground for ironing out these issues. This progress report shows how Bobby BearHug was an important stepping stone for perfecting the bigger body formula. It also shows PW's extensive knowledge of the Bigger Bodies initiative, heavily implying that he worked extensively with Dr. Sawyer. This is also supported by his position as a biologist at the company. So, given all this, it's quite clear that PW had a major role in the development and testing of the Bigger Bodies initiative, further supported the notion that he worked with Dr. Sawyer. This is further supported by Chapter 3's green VHS tape, where Dr. White picks up Samuel Lee, an orphan, for experimentation. The tape implies Dr. White and Dr. Sawyer worked together closely, given the strict policies regarding knowledge about the initiative and its true nature. Moreover, the various incident reports in the book imply PW and Dr. White are the same person, given their extensive knowledge of the Bigger Bodies initiative and proven participation. Furthermore, given the sensitivity of the initiative, it's likely that they had a small team, since the bigger the team, the more likely the true objective of the initiative would be leaked. And given the small number of people involved, it makes it likely PW is Dr. White. While some suggest PW is our player, it seems unlikely for various reasons, especially given how we're unable to enter this office that we see in Home Sweet Home, suggesting the player worked with the orphans and that this office is important to them. This is also supported by the player's hallucinations of orphans we see after being attacked by Catnap in the counselor's office. Besides, PW is a biologist, making it unlikely he had an office in Home Sweet Home, unless if he observed kids for experimentation. However, this will most likely be done in secret using the one-way mirrors made for observation, rather than having a prominent and permanent office in the middle of Home Sweet Home. Moreover, PW's multiple and extensive safety reports and recommendations imply he worked as a supervisor or manager for the science department rather than with the orphans in Home Sweet Home. Not to mention that PW is most likely dead, unexpected, considering the blood splotches we see on some of the pages, as well as the calendar going blank after August 8th, 1995. So that's why I think PW isn't our player, but rather the scientist, Dr. White. If you like this theory or have any other theories of your own, feel free to let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed today's video, I would really appreciate if you could leave a like down below and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my future videos. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay safe, positive, be there for another, and remember, the grind never stops, and I'll see you guys in the next one.